Okay, so today we're talking about the decrease and increase of parental influence. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Well, to do justice to that is Opuofoni Selekumo, popularly known as Uncle Sele. His purpose is to build and frame the minds of the upcoming generation to make the right decisions based on values. And it's such a pleasure, as always, to have you in the studio with us today.
Same here. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so decrease and increase of parental influence. That sounds simple, yet it's quite broad.
Yes, it is.
And I like the fact that you started, I like starting from negative, not talking positive. That's the thing with me. I do not like ending on a negative note.
Okay, so let's
start with the decrease, as you put it.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
So, first things first, let's talk about influence, where you have the capacity to impact someone's behavior. Do you understand? Now, we find ourselves in a society where, we're seeing a lot of vices.
Yeah.
So we're seeing that parents are not influencing or impacting on the behavior of their children.
Yeah.
You understand? So it means that they're leaving them to chance. And I don't know if you remember when we talked about the testers, the challengers, and
Yes.
the vices in the society. And what that means is children are just moving in and they are being, they're being impacted negatively. So it means that there is a decrease, when it comes to parental influence, and that is not cool. So it means that what we're saying today is that we need to increase. We need to be conscious. We need to be deliberate. We need to be intentional. We need to look at our children and say that, look, this is happening out there. Then I need to spend more time with you. I need to teach you more things, And I don't know why, there's this thing with I don't have time. Yeah, I hear that a whole lot. I don't have time. There's no time. But the truth is, that's your child. That's your son. That's your daughter. If you have the mindset that, look, I want to raise a king or a queen, it means I have to spend time to influence or to impact on my child positively. But you see, you can do something, like you said. So let's switch to the positive. Now, because let me remind you. I know I talked about the fact that there was time I went to secondary school where we asked the question.
Yes, and everybody was giving their
everybody was
feedback.
saying negative, and we
Yes.
had 44 children, and we had more children say negative influence. And I asked myself a question: they have parents, so it means that we don't have a lot of parents influencing their children positively, and that's scary.
So I actually have a slight issue with that.
Okay.
So parents try their best. Okay, many parents try their best.
Not many
I'm using many parents for a reason.
Okay.
So some do not do it directly. Some do it indirectly. I'll tell you what I mean by indirectly. So for parents who do not quite know how to have the conversation with their children. They employ Nollywood to help them. See, it might seem funny, but it's actually true.
Okay.
So you see parents bring their children when certain movies are showing, for example. If they've tried to advise the child is not listening, they'll say, see what happened to this person. Learn from this, so all that. And so you have children who, at the back of their minds, they remember that movie they watched, and it helps shape their lives.
Okay.
So when we talk about parental influence, I've always had this 50-50 mind, because some children who have terrible parents still end up being fantastic individuals.
Oh yes. Because the truth is, not just you. You have media.
Yes.
You have your schools.
Yes.
You have churches. You have mosques. Everybody is influencing you.
Yeah.
But the truth is, the first set of people that should form that foundation of influence should be your parents.
So,
now, some people end up very lucky. Some people end, like you said, they still turn out to be very good, excellent in life and all that.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But look at our society now and ask yourself this question: do you think that is working? Do you think that we're having a lot of lucky people, a lot of lucky children? Because there's this increase in the rate of vices in the society. So it means that it's not really helping, because the media, you get social media, is also adding to the decrease.
Good. I'm glad you mentioned that, because
yes.
I was going to ask you, what do you think is responsible for it?
Oh, yes.
You see children tell their dads or their moms, you think I want to end up poor like you. Mr. Perfect, Mr. I cannot do this. And these are parents who are trying to instill these values, but because they ended up poor while at it, the children are like, never would I end up like
I
you.
wouldn't be like my father.
not be like
but
my
you
father.
see something, there's still parents who were poor, but had to tell the children, look, this is how I am.
Yes.
But if you do this, you will end up this way. Now, my mom said something to me. She said, we have past presidents that we know their names. You said, you know, we have the Nadia Zikwe and all that. And she said something to me. She said, make a sacrifice for your children.
Yes.
She grew up in the village. She came to Lagos. She was amazed. And she told me something. You see, I didn't grow up here. But she said, you did. So, pay the sacrifice. That's influence, because I can never forget. Do you understand? So when my brain is trying to, hey, remember that word, and I'm saying to myself that, look, I must make this, you know, sacrifice for my children. Sometimes, you know, my children's friends see them and say, yeah, look, Uncle Sele is your father.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes my children will see me when other kids come to hug me, and they're just looking at me like,
What are you feeling like?
What are you feeling like? Yeah. See, Daddy, I saw you were just hugging. I said, why did you come and hug me? I said, I'll hug you. You're my daddy.
You're mine.
Do you understand? So, you know, we need to really change the narrative. Do you understand? And, you know, wake up as parents to say, look, we need to change our society, because everybody is contributing. Like I said, there are job parents and everybody's contributing. Yes. So, you know, influence your child, you know, positively. I do that. When they meet, you see positives are meeting. Or you see, when negative come, because you have instilled in them some values, they can the testers, when they come, they can stand and say no.
In just one line, I want you to just tell me this. How can parents assert that influence?
Spend more time.
Spend more time.
And be deliberate. That's just it. Yeah, spend more time.
Spend more time with your children.
Yes, and be deliberate about the things you pass to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like how straightforward that is. That's actually profound. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
You so much.